At 17, I figured I had everything mapped out for my future. I wasn't the brightest student around, but I busted my butt, staying late after classes, picking up random gigs on weekends, and pulling grades solid enough to land me in a good college. My single aim was to build a real life for myself. My folks always told me, "We're pinching every dime for your school savings." I trusted them completely. I bought into every word they said. But love can cloud your judgment sometimes, and I never saw the backstabbing headed my way. My sibling Sophia was the star kid. The type of daughter parents brag about, at least that's what mine always claimed. She had wavy golden hair, straight A report cards, and this natural charisma that drew people in without effort. Attention just trailed her everywhere. Me? I was the low-key type, the one clearing the table after meals, hunkering down in my room with books, and fantasizing about escaping our tiny hometown. That fantasy crumbled on a bright Saturday morning. I stirred awake to giggles echoing from the family room. Sophia was bouncing around, yelling, "No way! It's really for me." Heading downstairs, I spotted it. A gleaming new gray sedan out front. A big red ribbon tied on the hood. My parents beaming next to it. Mom glanced my way with a grin. Gorgeous, right? We wanted to catch Sophia off guard. "Hold on," I muttered, eyes locked on the vehicle. "How do you afford that?" Dad folded his arms. "We dipped into your school fund. You'll snag scholarships, kiddo. You're clever like that. Sophia needs it worse right now." My lungs seized up. The room seemed to freeze for a heartbeat. "You tapped my savings?" I breathed out. Dad let out a breath. "You'll get it when you're grown. Your sister requires wheels for her summer position. It'll boost her path too." Pressure built in my chest. My eyes stung, but I stayed silent. Because in that instant it hit me they'd pick sides. They didn't have faith in me. That evening I perched by my bedroom window, eyeing Sophia cruising the block in her ride while my parents cheered from the steps. The beams from the headlights swept over me, and I vowed right then, I'd never rely on them again. In the weeks that followed, I grinded like a machine. I snagged a late-night spot at a local eatery, squeezed in assignments on breaks, and crammed till sunrise. My instructors picked up on it. "You're overdoing it," they warned. But I brushed it off. Every shift scrubbing plates, I pictured that sedan. Sophia's grin. The adoring glances my parents gave her. Like she was their golden ticket. And I was the safety net. I finished high school at the top. No ride. No party. Not a single great job. They skipped my graduation. Claimed Sophia had a modeling gig. I stood there in my robe and hat, amid families embracing, shutters clicking, tears flowing. Just me, clutching my certificate. In that isolation I discovered my drive. College kicked off without a cent from them. So I juggled 3 gigs. Serving tables. Guiding study sessions. Dropping off meals. Some evenings I crashed in the campus stack since rent was out of reach. But I pushed on. Whenever quitting tempted me, I'd recall that sedan. The rev of the motor. My parents' smiles aimed at her, not me. It fueled a flame that wouldn't die. For years on, I walked across the stage. No loans. Not thanks to them, but all me. That evening, I parked myself on a bench under a lamppost, gripping my grad hat. I murmured, "You pulled it off. Solo." And after so long I grinned. Yet life loves to even the score in odd ways. A couple years into my steady role at a software firm, my phone rang. It was Mom. "Honey," she said, voice shaky. "Can we chat?" I went stiff. No contact in ages. Then came the bombshell I never saw coming. "Your dad's out of work. Things are rough." Sophia packed up and left. "She ignores us. You're all we've got." I said nothing at first. Just heard her sobs. The same lady who traded my dreams for wheels, now begging for a lifeline. Hanging up, my fingers trembled. I'd rehearsed this scenario for years, envisioned chuckling, slamming the phone, maybe tossing back. Feel my pain now. But reality hit different. No thrill. No payback. Just a hollow quiet that stung worse than rage. I gazed at my screen forever. Her frail, pleading tone looped in my mind. For a split second, I flashed back to nights yearning for a call just to hear her brag about me. I shut my eyes and breathed. Not now. Next day I clocked in like normal. Colleagues joked, mapped out getaways, passed around brews. I nodded along, but inwardly, that line replayed. You're all we've got. It's weird how folks who erased you can spot you clear when they're desperate. 3 days on, another ring. Honey, Mom pleaded. Eviction papers are coming. Your dad's hunting jobs, but nothing's biting. Could you lend a hand? Even a bit. I gulped. Mom, you cashed in my tomorrow for Sophia's ride. She broke. We get it. We screwed up. Just need a breather. Sophia aware? I pressed. Silence. Then softly. She cut us off. That jab landed hard. Sophia the fave had ditched them. I'll mull it over, I said and ended the call. Sleep evaded me that night. I kept reliving watching that gray car roll off. Them not glancing my way. Yet good memories crept in too. The cake-scented birthdays, pre-drama laughs, the coziness I once chased. Revenge wasn't my goal. Closure was. And I saw that advancing meant confronting them. So come weekend, I hopped in my car and headed to the podunk town I'd vowed to forget. The place seemed tinier. Peeling white siding, wild yard, murky panes. Odd, it no longer felt like home. Mom flung the door open pre-knock. Swollen eyes, thinning locks, and suddenly aged. Honey, she murmured, tears flowing. You showed. Dad slumped on the sofa, mute, hands quivering. No swagger left, just weariness. The air inside, once rich with weekend roasts and festivity, now hung with stale dust and remorse. We settled in, quiet stretching. Finally Dad grumbled. It all crashed after Sophia bailed. No visits. No replies. I fixed on him, heart squeezing. And now you need my aid? He dipped his head. We blew it, Ava. Totally. Figured Sophia required more, that you'd manage solo. But you were the tough one from the start. Mom sobbed anew. We're bursting with pride. Caught your TV spot last year. You shone so poised, joyful. We just froze on reaching out. Screaming tempted me. Shouting they had no right to claim pride. But I thought of the teen who wept craving their nod. All that came. Pride's overdue. They dropped their gazes, wordless. Soon Mom breathed. Will you assist? I inhaled deep. I'll consider. Then I rose and walked out. Cruising home, no tears. No rearview checks. Just highway unspooling, dusk fading behind. Back in my place that night, I fired up my computer. I'd been stashing cash for years, not necessity, but to dodge vulnerability forever. Eyeing the balance, I thought, this is what they deemed me unworthy of. And I beamed. No debt to them. But no more lugging their baggage. I'd ate on my rules. Morning after, I texted Mom. No cash handout. But I'll cover rent 6 months. Then you handle it. Her reply pinged quick. Thank you. This means the world. I eyed the words, chest constricting. She was mistaken. I knew precisely. It signaled the kid who sobbed over their pics was liberated at last. But as resolution loomed, a text from a stranger's digits buzzed. Sophia. Heard you're bailing Mom and Dad. Stop. They screwed you before, they'll repeat. Trust me, they hit me up first. I gawked, heart pounding. They dialed her initially. Still not me as plan A. Old ache surged, keen known. But a wry grin followed. I grasped what Sophia missed. Right moves can ache more than payback. And I was fine with it. Post-text, I zoned on my phone nearly an hour. Her warning echoed. They screwed you before, they'll repeat. She might be spot on. Maybe aiding was naive. Yet instinct said if I didn't close this my way, it'd haunt me endless. So I defaulted to my strength, hushed, watchful, patient. Months on, I handled their rent. Discreetly. 0 drop-ins, no marathon talks. Bare minimum for security, not luxury. They poked occasionally. Mom forwarded pics of her revived veggie patch. Dad messaged on a temp gig. I shot back brief, courteous notes. Anger faded, I was simply finished. Then one night, a ring. Not Mom. A reporter. Hello, Ava Brooks. We're eyeing you for our Rising from Hardship feature. You motivate tons, self-built, tough, grounded. Up for TV storytelling. I nearly chuckled. The twist was rich. The girl whose education stash funded a vehicle. Now hailed for her triumph tale. I agreed. It broadcast live fortnight later. I shared juggling triples, learning amid exhaustion. Bunking in book halls and self-belief when all else doubts. The fallout stunned. Texts flooded. Past pals, team members, even old profs. Then Mom. Saw your spot. Beyond proud. Quick follow-up. You were born to glow. Pause then. Visit? Pretty please. Screen stared back and the inner kid ached for yes. To hear it live. But Sophia chimed. They're blasting your clip. Pretending they backed you always. FYI. Socials confirmed. Mom posted the segment captioned. Thrilled for our girl Ava. New sheet sore. Flood of replies. Hometown buds cheering them. Your kid rocks. Parenting win. Pride overload. Each step deep. They were editing the past, my hurt into their boast. I breathed steady, launched my device, crafted my entry. At 17 my school stash bought my sister's ride. I hustled 3 spots, learned through sobs, forged it all from zero. This win sweat earned, not handed. It blew up fast. Countless shares, folks connecting, rooting, spilling their overlooked tales. Amid Sophia. Truth's out. Admire your guts. Dawn brought Mom's call. Voice wobbly. Why air that? We're mortified. I kept cool. You broadcasted pride. Now the whole tale's known. Not right, she wailed. We aired. You chose, I cut gentle. I chose too. Dead air. Long. Then my long-held line. I forgive, Mom. Forgetting? No. Click. Time rolled. Days calmed, eased. I relocated, launched my venture. A grant fund for sideline scholars mirroring my path. Parent notes trickled on tuition woes, and I'd grin recalling invisibility. Now I spotlighted others. One evening post-work stroll, a beat-up gray sedan, faded, nicked, eased alongside. Sophia emerged. Worn, matured, eyes still kind. Hi, she murmured. Hi. Pause then. Your fun's incredible. Appreciate it. Faint smile. Mom and Dad stable. Dad's employed. Mom's mortified still but devours your clips. Words failed. Then. They saw your worth too late. I met her gaze, soft grin. Perhaps. But I caught mine right on time. She pulled away. I lingered under lamps, breeze serene. Long ago I equated winning with rubbing it in, proving errors, sparking remorse. Now deeper truth. Payback's not harm. It's self-mend. And truly I felt unburdened. I'd flipped their stab into my launch.